Hello? Can you hear me? Is this any better? Can you guys hear me yet? Hello, hello? Test the sound. Yes, you can hear me. Oh, thanks, Renee. Appreciate you. Looks like we got Laura here. We've got Julie. We've got Tiffany. Tammy. Thank you, guys. Okay, great. Yeah, that was weird. Forgot to check my my audio settings. Kind of rushed. I forgot there's a lot of stuff I have to set up before hopping onto the live. I wanted to make sure that I got my ebooks on sale too, which, by the way, ebooks are on sale. I'll put a little link for them in the chat box real quick. If you're interested in picking those up, the sale is only for while we are live. So just kind of a cool little thing to have go on while we chat. So I took some questions on Instagram.
Ebooks
And if you're
are
not
on
following me on Instagram, it's at @TrainingTall. I post daily workout videos there. You know, you see the stuff from me on YouTube like once or twice, maybe sometimes 3 times a week. But I mostly post on Instagram. I post every day over there with, like, other than rowing specific workout tips. So definitely check out there if you haven't checked it. I also put posts on my stories, talk about life stuff a little bit more casually than the YouTube space every day. So check out my Instagram if you haven't already. But I've got a list of questions from the Instagram that I want to talk about, as well, of course, take your guys' questions that you have here live too. So just going to check, see if anyone here's in the chat. No one in the Twitch chat, but that's all good. And looks like we've got everyone here in our chat. Wonderful. Cool. Well, if you guys have any questions, drop them down below. We can talk anything. You got me live. I'm here in the moment. So whatever you want. So let's go ahead. I'm going to pull up some of these questions here. Okay. Okay, so one of the first questions that I got was, what's the best way to reduce body fat percentage? Now, losing body fat is something that I'm sure is a big goal for a lot of us. It's a super common goal to have, really. And when it comes to fitness and weight loss, one of the biggest misconceptions is this idea. Someone says no sound. I might have to tell people to just skip a minute in. Hold on one sec. Trying to not knock over my water while I type this. Skip about a minute in if you hear no sound. Okay. One of the biggest misconceptions with fitness is that the primary driver of weight loss, fat loss, is exercise, where it's actually not the primary driver. The most important thing when it comes to losing body fat is controlling your caloric balance, which is most easily controlled through your dietary intake. When I work with individuals on helping them find, positive, fat loss diet structures, that type of eating revolves around eating more foods, but the more foods that are high in fiber, high in water, and less of the processed crappy foods. Like once you switch that intake, you realize you can actually eat a ton more food and still lose weight, because you're not eating as many calories overall, because foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, for example, are filled with so much water and fiber that there's just not a lot of calories in the amount of mass. I've talked about this before. Like, if you wanted to eat 2,000 calories of strawberry ice cream, that's about 2 pints. But 2,000 calories of strawberries is 44 cups of strawberries, which would fill your stomach all the way to the top 11 times over. Like, and that's insane, right? Like, you couldn't, no matter how much you love strawberries, you couldn't eat that much. So I'm not saying go eat 11,000 cups of strawberries. I'm just saying when you can incorporate more of the high fiber, high water-based foods, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, as kind of like your main focus groups, starchy foods, like all those foods really aid in weight loss. That's the best way to help you lose body fat percentage, is to control your caloric intake through reducing the calories that you consume. And the reason why I say that is because think about, for those of you that do, if you use like the rowing machine, for example, you have a really good 20-minute rowing workout, you're going to burn like what, 200 to 300 calories? It's like you can offset that by pouring your olive oil bottle for half a second, putting oil into the pan. Like right there, that's your 200 calories that you just worked your butt off for 20 minutes to do. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's an example of that. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so with that one done, another question was asked was, how long did you row at university? So I rowed at UC Davis, which is in California, University of California, Davis. And I rowed since 2012 to 2016. So I was there. I was recruited as a walk-on. So I didn't ever try out or anything. I was just kind of picked from like, hey, you're a tall person, like come try rowing, and really liked it. Realized it was just a really good hard work ethic sport. So loved that part about it, and so really enjoyed rowing my first year, and then just continued with it. Like kind of took on a leadership role. I was the captain of the novice crew, so the first year crew. And just stuck with it, became president for my junior and senior year. And yeah, it was a really amazing experience. And just like how high school ends, college ends, I guess eventually, sometimes college doesn't end for some people, or you know what I mean. You will actually, in collegiate rowing, at least here in the United States, once you start rowing collegiately, you actually have 5 years to finish 4 years of rowing. So if you were to take 5 years in college, you could take 1 year off from rowing if you wanted to and still be eligible. But past that, once you have that first race, your first time rowing, your clock starts really. So that's really interesting. And then after that, I just continued doing some rowing on the water with my training buddy Nick, who I trained with 2 summers ago when we trained for a big race. And since then, it's just been rowing machine stuff, trying to spread the love of the rowing machine to everyone. So that's how long I was doing rowing for. Another question is, what made you change to start eating plant-based? So for those that don't know, I follow 100% plant-based diet. I haven't had animal foods, animal products, no milk, cheese, dairy, eggs, anything like that for it's going to be 4 years in March, which is really exciting. And then before that, I had a vegetarian, so I took out meat from the diet. So I've had no meat for almost 5 years now. And the reason why I originally did was it was more of like the more and more research that was coming out about seeing essentially the association that with more meat intake leads to more chronic disease. And I was such like a crazy health nut where like I know I'm only in my my mid-20s, I guess going to be in my late 20s. My birthday's next month. Only in my late 20s, I'm like I still want to be as healthy as I can now, so that way I can just live a very healthy lifestyle for my whole life. And so I just started cutting out meat. And then I realized I started learning more about the ethics side of things. The animal agriculture industry, if you haven't really explored what really goes on in even things like free range, things like that. I mean, when you're someone who just, you say you love animals, but you eat animals, like I just found that very hypocritical for myself. And so I was like, nah, I think I need to cut out all these animal foods. And so I just did. And I realized like, oh wow, my body feels way better, feel way more energized all the time. And it made me explore different options for foods, I cook more now than I ever have in my life. And I never thought I ever would. Best decision I ever made. It's just one of those things where it's one of the best things you can do for your health, the environment, and for the animals too. So that's it, all those reasons, I guess. So that's one of the questions. There's a question here, vegan protein shake. So there's lots of different ones out there. They aren't necessary for most people, to be honest. As long as you're eating a sufficient amount of calories, you're probably getting all the protein that you do need. Protein requirements for people are way overshot. We eat way too much protein than we need. There's a really great book called Proteinaholic. If you've never read that, you should totally check it out. Proteinaholic is an awesome book. And yeah, you're probably getting enough, but if you do want to try a shake, I personally like Vega. Vega's they're a little bit pricier, but I really like their chocolate. They have one that's called, I think it's Vega Clean Protein or Complete Protein or something like that. It's got a chocolate flavor. I like that one, and I have it every once in a while, but I don't have it every day. So it all really depends on your fitness goals as well. If you're looking for pure strength training, pure just gains, you want to be eating around 0.6 to 0.7 grams of protein per pound. So for someone like me who weighs 220 pounds, that's like what, 140 to 100 or 150 to like 170 grams or something like that, which I hit every day just through my caloric intake as it is, just because I eat tons and tons of food. I have to because I'm 6'8" and pretty active with the amount of rowing videos that I have to make, workouts that I make for my app, etc. So. Check out Vega. You might like that. I don't have any affiliate links or anything like that. So, but there's that. So, hope that helps you. And again, everyone, if you have any questions, please leave them down in the comments below. Just checking over on the Twitch chat. C. Kincaid, what's up? Hey, how are you? Starting a little bit early today. You can't outrun your fork. It's tough being intentional with what you eat. It really is. It really is. It's insanely tough. But I'm telling you, we can make it a lot simpler than how the world is really kind of framing nutrition right now, which is to be obsessed with macros. You just don't need to be obsessed with macros. It's just and maybe in particular athletic situations, it can be helpful, but we don't have to be slaves to macro and calorie counters. That's not what humans evolved to do. It's a lot simpler than that. And the best general shifts that we can all make are just going from less processed foods to more whole foods, more foods that grow out of the ground, directly from the ground. That's at least in my opinion. So I appreciate the comments there, C. Kincaid, over on the Twitch channel. If for those of you that don't follow me on Twitch, I'm going to link my Twitch over to you just so you can check that out. I stream video games over there every once in a while if you're ever interested. I don't go under Training Tall over there just because I keep it a little bit more casual, but link that down in the chat if you're interested. And if you don't know already, I've got sales going on my ebooks right now. Oh yeah, and I mentioned this on my Instagram story just a little bit ago. I'm still taking a couple more individuals for my coaching program, my coaching group for this upcoming month of February. We're starting on Monday. 20 days. If you've got a rowing machine at home and you're ready to commit to 20 days of workouts with me being your personal coach to help you with your form, your goals, help you get on the right track with your rowing and your fitness and anything really, you can check that out over my website. It's the same site as the ebooks. You just want to go to my Row 20 program. It's the best thing you could ever do if you have a rowing machine. And that's all I'll say about that. Would love to have you there. And we can just get to know each other more. I want to know you on a personal level, instead of just me being this YouTube guy. So yeah. All right, let's continue along here. Another question is there any good reason why I shouldn't row 4 to 5 kilometers, so 4 to 5,000 meters, 6 days a week? Note I have an Ortec. So an Ortec is that's a specific kind of rowing machine. It's a fancier one. So it mimics more of rowing out in a boat, which when you have one oar, you actually twist out to the side when you row, so your body gets a little bit of motion. As far as that general statement of 4 to 5,000 meters a day, 6 days a week, it all really comes down to the intensity that you row that at. When it comes to our keeping healthy, getting fit with rowing, improving with rowing, I don't recommend anyone just sit down and just row a distance as hard as they can every single day. That's just not very smart training, and that isn't very sustainable. I would not recommend doing a maximum effort 4 to 5,000 meters every single day or 6 days a week. If you're structuring that out into bouts of more steady aerobic rowing on some of the days and more high intensity sprints on the others, maybe you go, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off for 4 to 5,000 meters one day. And then the next day you do that 5,000 meters as, 23 minutes in one straight shot at a moderate rate. Finding that balance is really, really important because you got to let your body recover, and it's important to have a little bit of structure with your training. That's one of the things I really love about my coaching program is I've got it all structured out to make it so that we can row 20 days in a row without you burning out. Structure is really, really important. So I guess the answer to that question is it varies. So Laura's got a question here. Says, how can you get over a plateau? So Laura, that's a really good question. It's a little bit vague, but I'm guessing you're talking more about a weight loss plateau, which is a very, very common thing that happens. Weight loss plateaus are really interesting because as your body loses weight, your metabolism goes down. The more you weigh, the higher your metabolism is. And the way you can think about that is, if you go and grab a 5-pound weight, if you're trying to lose 5 pounds, hold on to that 5 pounds and walk around with it all day. And you realize like it's kind of hard to carry the 5 pounds around with you. Your body has to work harder to move a bigger body around. And so when we start losing weight and our bodies get smaller, our metabolisms have less of a demand. Our metabolisms don't have to work as hard to keep our body going. And so if you're following kind of the traditional portion size restrictions methods of eating, where you're just like taking all of the food you were eating and just eating smaller bits of it, like eventually it forces you to make smaller and smaller and smaller portions, which just leaves you hungry and unsatisfied and not very, not miserable, honestly. And so breaking past that is about including more of those low calorie dense foods, in my opinion. That and maybe a little bit more of your exercise too, depending on how much you're budgeting into your time and how much you have time to commit. A little bit of exercise can help stimulate that as well. Resistance training especially can help you offset the metabolism loss, because as you increase your body's lean muscle mass, your metabolism increases from doing so. So that can help you offset the metabolism lost from fat loss. So other than that, just keep in mind psychologically that you've got a lot of time to really kind of hash it all out completely. There's no rush necessarily to get to like this certain end goal, especially when you set specific goals in a time frame. In my opinion, that can lead to some stressful like decision making, which shouldn't have to happen. The only stress in life, I think, should really come from exercise. Some really good exercise stress. Matt says, any tips for a big guy starting out rowing on the waitlist for Concept 2? Down about 100 pounds since June. Can't wait to get started. Matt, that's crazy, man. Congrats on your weight loss so far. 100 pounds, that's insane. Matt, when you get your Concept 2, you would really, really love my coaching program. That's gonna be one of the best ways to start, in my opinion. If you're not really into the coaching thing, obviously it's a little bit more pricey than just like getting an ebook. But my ebooks are another great place to go as well. The thing is with the coaching program, once you go through it, you actually get the ebooks at the end for free. So, there's some extra value to be had there. But I mean, I'm telling you, man, when you can start rowing with really good form, once you learn the proper stuff early on, for me, like that's gonna carry you so much farther down the road compared to someone who just like does rowing kind of on their own, develops not great habits, not great technique, and then has to try to break that later on. You just become so much more efficient, man. So highly recommend it. Be sure to reach out to me. You can reach out to me through DMs, Instagram, email. If you want to talk about it more, I'm happy to talk you through it. So yeah. Wow, we got a lot of people pouring in to the chat and into watching. So hello to everyone. Appreciate you guys all being here. Happy Friday to you. We're just doing casual Q&A today. I've got a sale going on my ebooks that's going to last for the duration of the stream. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop that link one more time if you're looking for 30% off rowing ebooks. If you maybe are having a late start to the new year and you want to get rowing, those are on sale. So you can check those out. Let's see what else we've got going on here in the chat. Matt, again, thank you for your question. Tiff says, I'm so excited. Tiff, you're excited to row, yes? Oh, yeah. It's going to be a good time. Nicola says, love the vids. They're incredibly helpful. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. I'm glad you like them. I am a one-man show when it comes to YouTube, so I put a lot of time into those videos. So it means a lot that you watch them, and it means a lot even more that you like them too. So thank you very much. Appreciate it. Jamie says, is it possible to build up to a marathon-length row only rowing 3 times a week? Yeah, Jamie, absolutely. It would just have to be a bit more of an aggressive kind of build structure as far as the distance that you tack on. I mean, a lot of this depends kind of on your current experience level, depends on when you want to be doing your marathon row. Like, is that like when do you want to accomplish that challenge? How long have you been rowing for? What's your current fitness ability? All those things have to be taken into consideration, but there's no reason why you can't build up to that over the course of rowing only 3 times a week. You could technically just sit on the rowing machine and row a marathon right now. Wouldn't advise it if you're not prepared for it, but it can absolutely be done. So yeah. Let's see here. We've got Cookie Baker, aka Sheila. Sheila's good to have you here. Thanks for coming by. Jamie says, is it possible? Oh, we already went over that. Weeble says, does it make sense I'm only able to row with one arm? So Weeble, not necessarily. Not necessarily. It's just one of those things that, well, it's kind of weird. If you're rowing on a traditional rowing machine with one arm, I mean, are you an amputee, or do you have like a shoulder injury? Like if you have a shoulder injury going on right now, I would probably just back away from doing any sort of dynamic motion like rowing, just because you don't want to get one side all developed and then all of a sudden go to your other side or something like that. I don't know. Like that would just be, I think that's just a little bit weird. I think there's just other things that you could do. If you're an amputee though, and you've only got one arm, I mean, I think you can make it work. And I actually think that there's some like Paralympic sports or events that might be one arm rowing. So, yeah. Give me a little more info though if you got it. So Oliver says, not a fan of Facebook. Possible to do row 20 and not be on Facebook. So Oliver, unfortunately, it's the only Facebook groups are really the only way right now that's like there's no extra cost, and it's a really, really reliable live streaming platform and a place that can host all the workout discussions, all the videos from me, all of the information that I want to put out there, all the files and stuff I want to share. You know, it's a really great place for all of that. And so that's why we use it. And so that's why I encourage anyone who like doesn't like Facebook that wants to be part of the program, just make a spoof account or borrow a significant other or a friend's account, make an account for your dog as an example, and use your dog's account and just let me know. Do you know what I mean? So that's just how it is. There's really no way to get the most out of row 20 without it, because that's where the lives are hosted. So unfortunately, that's all I got for you right now. Hope that helps. All right, James says, I know you have the row 20 starting Monday. When might you start another? I can't start Monday, but would like to learn from you. I got my Hydro yesterday and have rowed twice. I want proper form. Well, James, a few options. First off, I run row 20 every month. So it's the first Monday of every new month is when row 20 is. And I start reaching out to people for the next group about a week and a half or so before the next row 20 starts. And so if you wanted to sign up for March, for example, you'd want to go to my website sometime during mid-February, submit in your information, and then I'll contact you a week and a half or so before row 20 starts to get you into the group, etc. Again, I'm a one-man show for everything, so there's only so much I can handle as far as like all the different data and spreadsheets and everything I got to keep track of. And so I'm doing my best to try to keep it all organized. So yeah, that's an option. Another way you can do it as well is you can just sign up for form reviews, which I just offer as their own service on my website as well. $50 will get you three back and forth form reviews with me. So give you an opportunity for you to hone in your rowing form. You just record yourself and I give you a personal review using arrows and voice and angles and drawings and everything that you need to help you get better. So those are some options for you, man. Hope it helps. Let's see here. Matt says, thanks for the answer. I'll reach out once my rower gets here. I'll be looking for you, Matt. Rash Dude says, Pearl Jam Stickman. That is right. Yep, right there. Right underneath my Chris Cornell tattoo. Yes, Pearl Jam Stickman. Huge band for me. Huge band. One of the most influential bands of all time for me. Been playing a lot of guitar recently, you guys. A lot of guitar. It's been a lot of fun. Snailer says, good work on the rowing vids, man. Just got a rowing machine for Christmas, and I row to your vids all the time. Keep up the good work. Well, Snailers, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm glad you like them. I've got a lot of workouts over on my app, which is called Just Row, because you just row. Doesn't matter what your machine is. Let's get in some good workouts together. Put out 3 workouts a week on that app. There's over, how many workouts are on there right now? 120 rowing workouts at this point. No, 120 total workouts. Probably like 80 plus rowing workouts right now. Tons of workouts, man. It's crazy. But I'm glad you like the stuff. I appreciate your support. Thanks a lot. Let's see. We got Bernard here. Hi from Belgium. Thanks for your videos. Really helpful. Well, thanks for dropping in. And hello from the United States. I've been following your app for the past week and feeling good about it. Thank you. John, thanks so much, man. Appreciate that. I'm glad that you're enjoying the app. I really am glad. Thanks for your support on that. Ben says, just got a rower and I love it, but is it worth doing 10 to 15 minute rows about 4 times a week? So Ben, that goes back to what I was talking about earlier when this question was asked on my Instagram, which by the way, if you guys don't follow me on Instagram, daily workout tips over there as opposed to weekly videos on YouTube. It's @TrainingTall. It all depends on how hard you're rowing, right? I mean, you can technically just hop on the rower and bounce back and forth with no pressure, no effort at 36 strokes per minute for 10 to 15 minutes. Or you could make, you could go for a 3K world record and go hard as possible for 10 minutes straight. Or, do you know what I'm saying? Like, it all depends. I don't necessarily believe in just hopping on and just rowing just to row. I think there should be a little bit of structure there. That's why I make my ebooks. That's why I make my coaching program. Rowing needs to be engaging, right? Like, I mean, if you can stick with it and you can, I just think there needs to be a little bit more structure. So if you've got structure to those 10 to 15 minute rows, spaced out with high intensity rows, more steady state rows, you got a nice mix of both, then there's no reason why you can't do that 4 times a week. No reason at all. Hope that helps, though, man. Hope that helps. Jedediah says, just put my rower together. Nice. That's cool. That's cool. Yes, the assembly of the rower. That's always fun. Depending on which rower you get, of course. Some of them are kind of goofy to assemble, but very nice. Very nice. Sheila says, I'm considering a 4th round of row 20. It's so awesome. Oh, Sheila, you're still the best. I hope you're doing well, Sheila. That really means a lot. And I'm sure as you've experienced multiple rounds through my coaching program, like you get more experience with the workouts. It's really the accountability, though. There's something about like knowing I'm going to be live waiting there for you to hop on and row with me. That's really, really fun. And I just getting to know you a little bit more too, you know? Like Sheila, you and I, Cookie Baker, Sheila, we're buds. We're buds for life. Chantel says, hi from the UK. Thanks for all your great videos. Hey, well, thanks for dropping by and saying the sweet comments, and hello to you from California in the United States. I'm glad you enjoyed the videos. Thank you so much. James says, I enjoyed your WoW parkour video. Wait, that is James. That's a really old video. That's funny. And that was on my super old YouTube channel. That's a what's that called? A deep cut? That's a deep cut right there. That's funny. I'm glad you liked it. Monkey says, Monkey Marshmallow. That's a funny name. I like it. What's your favorite food to eat that helps you stay in shape? I would say the best fitness food is probably beans and lentils are like the best fitness food for sure, as far as like just giving you the fuel you need, as well as just being a nutrient-packed food. That's like probably like my number one staple food is some sort of bean form or lentil form in one way or another. Sometimes that's tofu, sometimes that's just garbanzo beans, sometimes it's black beans or lentils or green lentils, red lentils. There's a whole variety of ones out there, but it's just like it's the staple in all my savory meals. It's the staple. That and potatoes are just a great fitness food. Sweet potatoes if you can, a little bit more nutrient dense in those, a little bit more fiber as well. All those foods are great. Wow, guys, we got 54 people watching here on the YouTubes. This is great. And another 4 over on Twitch. Appreciate you guys so much for being here. If you got any questions, anything you'd like to say, you've got me live for the next 25 minutes. And then I got to go work with some clients. And so ask away, please. And I hope you all have your water. Who's got water? You know, it's funny, as I had to put on this beanie instead of my hat, because my hat was like blending in with my background, because I'm on a green screen, obviously. I'm not sitting in a studio right now. Yeah, fun fact. I don't know, I'm just changing the subject for a second. Anyway, let's get into some more questions here. Can't Stop the Sickness. That's a combination of multiple songs. Can't Stop, one of my favorite Red Hot Chili Pepper songs. The Sickness, Down with the Sickness, another fun one. That's probably not why you made your name, but anyway. It says, I just purchased a pair of Nike Metcon 6s. Nice, a good choice to make that good connection with the rowing stroke. That's actually a great choice. The Nike Metcons are great shoes for weightlifting and great shoes for rowing as well. Personally, I'm more of now towards like complete minimalist shoes that have no support even on the bottom. Like they're shoes that you could like roll up into a ball if you wanted to. It simulates that mimicking of barefootness, which is what you see a lot of rowers actually use. Like you look at the top end dudes, a lot of them just row barefoot because you get that real strong connection. Metcons are great. They're going to be perfect for you to get that rowing stroke connection. However, they're squeaky. Metcons are squeaky. I owned a pair I think I had Metcon 4s for a couple years, and they just squeak. They make little shoe fart sounds whenever you walk around with them. So just be mindful of that, okay? Let's see what else. Matt says, just did the rounds following on your social media and I downloaded the app. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Just curious if you have any Facebook group for people after the Row 20 sessions end. Oh, Matt, are you talking about the Row 20 Veterans group? Because yes, and that's actually getting close to over 100 members now. And what we do on the Veterans group is a great place for you to connect with everyone who's been a part of Row 20 in the past months, because this has been going on since May of last year. And you get to kind of mingle with people that might have the same fitness goals as you, or be as inspiration for different fitness goals. And we always do a reunion row at the end of every month as well. We've got our reunion row actually on Sunday, right before the next Row 20 group starts. So yes, it's seriously a great place to be part of a truly unique community that is like some really hardcore dedicated rowing machine people. It's great. So thanks a lot, Matt. Appreciate you a lot. Really appreciate the support. ME says, I have no interest in getting bigger, only more shredded. Yeah, so more shredded. Potatoes are the best shred food, in my opinion. I think potatoes are one of the best ones. Yep. They're just so satiating and so few in calories and so good for exercise performance. They're great. So more potatoes in your life. And if anyone is wondering why I say that, and you have any objections, let me know and we'll talk about it. Let's see here. Nimi says, hey, I do fixed seat rowing at sea and use the rowing machine to help keep myself trained. Awesome. Any differences or things I should look out for on a machine when it comes to fixed rowing? So with the fixed seat, I'm sure that's just a lot of arms and torso, right? Arms and torso rowing, which is going to be a really good workout for your back and your arms, especially building up that endurance to be able to do that. The thing is, when you're on a rowing machine, you've got the moving seat component, which allows you to utilize your legs a lot more. So especially your quads and your glutes, compared to the hamstrings that you'd use when you're just tilting your body, because you are using some hamstrings when you do that. But the big one would be from the quads and the glute activation. So just get ready to work your legs a lot more. And you want to be able to practice this, something that I've preached nonstop, which is like really, really hard to grasp, but I know you guys will get it eventually. We'll all get it eventually, is being able to push your legs and then swing back. So it's this portion of rowing where instead of leaning and pulling back, that you lean forward, you push your legs down and then swing back. Push, then swing is the idea. That's the biggest difference between fixed seat rowing and rowing on a rowing machine. So hope that helps. Thanks for the question. Keep up the good work, Nimi. Ben says, seeing this makes me proud not to be an American. This guy is so uneducated. Okay, Ben, that's really interesting. I don't know what that has to do with me being an American, but okay. That's not really kind of you to say, but I hope that whatever hate you have in your heart and whatever you're going through, your struggles, you're probably dealing with some really hard stuff in life right now. And so I sincerely wish you the best in figuring all that out, whether it's for your weight loss, maybe you're overweight, or you're having trouble getting onto the fitness game. So best of luck to you, Ben. Good luck. Knitter says, do you have any tips for getting motivated? Since I bought a water rower over a year ago, I've spent all of 10 minutes on it. I used to row and was a club rower, but finding it difficult to start. Knitter, it's one of those things where I think joining a program or following a program of some sort is one of the best ways to do that, where you kind of commit yourself to some sort of journey. And so there's lots of options out there. You can find tons and tons of free programs out there, but I've got ebooks that guide you through that. They're 4 and 8 week training programs. They're on sale right now during the stream. But if you want some real motivation, join my rowing coaching program. Like, I think you would seriously love it, as it's like the accountability of the group and just being able to show up and row together. It's like the most truly unique experience that exists in the rowing sphere as far as like what you can do for rowing right now. So, because there's lots of apps and stuff out there, lots of follow-along workouts, but as far as like being live together, working out together, it's the place to be. So go check out my website or shoot me an email and we can talk about it more. So hope that can help you out in finding your motivation. Alex says, what time are the Row 20 streams at? They're at 7 a.m. Pacific. However, usually for the groups, about 40% of the group can actually make it to the live streams. And so that's usually people just watch it later because it gets saved to the group as well. So you just follow along with it live, but later, if that makes sense. So that's how it goes. But I've had, people have joined the program from Australia, Russia, from New Zealand, from Switzerland, from Germany, from all over Europe. People join all over and participate, and everyone's in different time zones. And we always have the day after crew. There's always a group of individuals that go through the workouts the day after too. So though if you can't make it live, it's okay. So Don says, do you really don't have blue hair? I know, right? So since my hair is growing out, because it's like slightly separated, green screens, it's called chroma keying. It's basically you're telling the computer or the camera to take out this color. And so my blue screen, it's like with the hair, the little tiny blue parts pop out in between. You can't get it quite exactly. If I had a shaved head, it'd be real easy, but I'm not going to do that. So Paul says, do you do any fasting? So Paul, no, I don't, but that's because I have a very unique fitness and workout situation. Like I mentioned, I do a lot of daily activity. I get lots of walking in. I do lots of rowing for all the coaching, whether it's for my program or through my app. I'm on the rowing machine every day, putting in lots of meters, as well as going on walks and doing a lot of weight training as well. And I work with personal clients too. At 6'8" and 220 pounds, my caloric need to handle all that is so high. And the diet that I follow is so slimming because whole plant food, when you focus around whole plant foods, again, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, like those, it's so slimming naturally and so filling that I have to constantly be eating in order to get in enough calories. So I don't do any fasting. There was one point where I was weighing over 240 pounds and I cut down to 200. So I lost 40 pounds, and I did do that with intermittent fasting, which was a nice strategy to help limit caloric intake. So something to think about. Also, it looks like Kenneth here donated $2 to the super chat. I appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. That means a lot. You're like the third person who's ever donated through super chat. So thank you very much for the $1.99. And he says, is there any rowing apps to race and play games? As far as apps go, I'm not too sure. That is definitely a market that needs to be tapped into, I think. The issue is being able to connect specific rowers to those apps, if that makes sense. That's why things like Ergata, which is a specific tablet connected to Water Rower, that's why they have that, which works really, really well. Viron, that rower, which I'm going to be getting next week actually to review. I'm really excited for that. They've got a whole game app system, but it's all very rower to the rower specific. So that's still a market that needs to be tapped out and explore a little bit more, I think. But again, Ken, thanks for the donation, man. It means a lot. Let's see here. Nicola says, I'm using Nike Hyperfeels. It's essentially socks with rubber soles. Yo, nice, man. That sounds great. Also, we have 72 people watching. Hello. Hello to everyone. Thanks for joining me on your Friday. Kind of starving now, but you know what? I'm going to stick around. We've got water. We've got questions. We've got hanging out to do. So if you have anything you want to say, please just drop it down in the comments, whether you're on Twitch or over on YouTube. Come say hi. Jessica says, what are the pros and cons of the Prius? I know you drive one because of headroom, which I don't need, but I was thinking about getting one for my next car. Jessica, honestly, like the Prius has been an amazing car. I have had zero issues with it whatsoever. It's really easy to drive. It actually has like 3 different drive modes. So you have like the normal mode, you have the eco mode, and then the power mode. So you can actually like switch it to the power mode if you need more acceleration. Let's say if you're going up, steep hills or something. Not like the normal mode can't handle that, but if you feel like your car needs a little extra boost, you can switch it over to that mode with just the touch of a button. But it just drives so smoothly, and there's no issues, and it's so quiet, and it's so roomy. It's like the best car ever. I have no idea why there's such a stigma behind Priuses. I 100% stand by it as like, I love that car so much, especially the newer models too. Like they look way more stylish than the older models do. Anything from 2016 and forward. Yeah, they're cool. The Prius Prime I would get to if I actually had a place to plug it in, which is like we can go fully electric for like 120 miles or something like that. I'm pretty sure it's the same interior design, but yeah, it's a great car. It's awesome. It's perfect for tall people. One thing's Priuses are small, but like they're huge cars. They're great. So super love it, and it's pretty affordable too. You know, it's not the cheapest car in the whole wide world, but it's also not expensive like a sports car. It's really, really nice. I don't know what else to say. Like, there's just no issues with it. It's so awesome. So that's what I got to say about the Prius. Thanks for your questions on that. Appreciate it, Jessica. Hey, Lindsay says, what is your favorite weather? What did you think of the wind and rain the last couple days? So my favorite weather is definitely like spring sunshiny, where it's not too hot, but it's sunshiny out. Love the sun. Love it a lot. Used to like rain and storms a lot more, but I don't know. I just like being, since I spend so much time indoors for work now, because my job is just very much like me by myself inside. It's crazy because like with YouTube and Instagram and stuff, you know, reaching thousands and thousands of people. It's so awesome, but it's like, it's a really lonely job. It's a really lonely thing. I'm just and you do it all on your own. I don't know. There's something I just liked about when it's sunny out, it's a great time to get outside, get away from the computer, get away from the desk. And I've always wanted to learn how to surf, which is one of my goals for this upcoming summer. So I'm really looking forward to that. With the rain and the wind, was not a huge fan of that, to be honest. It actually was kind of cool to go out and just like let it hit me. Like I went on a big walk when no one was walking because it was rainy and windy, and it felt like I was alive. It was really cool. But in general, like if that continued, that would wear on me, I would say. Yeah, I think I would say I feel a little bit more down when it's gloomy. The seasonal affective disorder, or I don't know the specifics. SAD. Yes, I'm about to burp. Ooh. Thanks for the question, though, Lindsay, and it's good to hear from you, too, as always. P. Rabbit says, I think the people behind you are catatonic. Catatonic? Catabolic? I don't know if I know what catatonic means. Maybe I am not that smart. Deb! Hey, Deb! I love your programs and videos, Austin. Deb, it's so good to hear from you. Miss you. Hope all is well. I loved Row 20. It helped me so much. I might want to do another one. Deb, absolutely. You know I'm here for you. Plus, when you do it, you know, you get the veterans rate as well. You know, you get a bit of a discount because you've done it before. And there's always something to be gained. But Deb, it's really good to hear from you. Thanks for dropping by. LJSJ says, I have the Prius Prime and can charge it for free at the garage I park in at the office when I get to work there. It's so zippy when it's electric. It is zippy because the normal Prius goes electric when you stay under like 40 miles per hour. But that's super cool. I'm envious of your Prius Prime. That's awesome. Super cool. ME or me says, LOL, perfect response. I can't remember what we were talking about, but thank you. I like the blue. You should do it for real. Oh, dye my hair blue? Nah. Maybe if I was like one of those multi-million subscriber YouTube channels, like the gaming YouTube channels, where they all like randomly dye their hair together. You know, they all went pink or red or one time, or I don't know. I don't really follow that stuff, but maybe. But I like to keep a little bit of professionalism in my stuff, so. Tia Maria says, I saw a rowing machine with a seat back. Since I have a bad back, I thought it might be helpful to keep my back safe. What are your thoughts about that? So, Tia, that's actually something I actually want to make a whole video on, because I don't actually think I don't think it's necessarily a great idea. Especially once you learn the proper form with rowing, and we realize how dynamic our torso actually does need to be for proper rowing, where we shouldn't be in this layback position the whole time as we row. We actually want to have that freedom to swing our hips and to move our body. And so I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. I don't think it's necessarily going to help you. I think what needs to happen is you just need to make sure that your form is really, really good. And if you want a form review, you can sign up for one over on my website if you're interested, so that way we can make sure that your back is totally safe. But just make sure you're doing lots of pre-workout stretches, post-workout stretches as well. Like, make sure you're taking care of yourself to help you keep your back safe too. Some strengthening exercises. There's lots of good body weight exercises you can do. Take care of that back, okay? Thanks for your question. My nose is so itchy. I don't know why it gets so itchy during live streams. Let's see here. Urban says, how do you design a training plan for a 500-meter row? So, Urban, that's a really good question. So what's interesting about 500 meters is that it's much more of a strength and power-focused row than any other rowing event you train for. If you're training for a 2,000-meter row, you're training 70 to 80% of that with a pure endurance and aerobic mindset. But when it comes to 500 meters, especially when you reach the top end like intensities, like if you can row a 500 meter in under a minute 30, like that's when it becomes almost completely anaerobic and completely just about power and strength. And so it would be a balance of working on your total body strength training, but especially strength training in your legs and hips, as well as mixing in a nice combination of sprint rowing workouts that build on each other and that have goals per workout that are wrapped around kind of what you want your end goal 500 to be. So for instance, if you were trying to get to a 130 500 meter row as an example, you'd be working through a variety of workouts that have shorter efforts that you work at that 130 pace so you can get more comfortable with it, really push the threshold, etc. So that's just a very, very basic general idea behind that. So hope that helps. Hope that gives you kind of a good idea of what you should do. But working on the strength and the power. And the more body weight you have, the better you're going to do on 500 meters. That's just how it is, because you want to be able to throw that weight back. So, yes. Real quick here, Squealer dropping by with a $5 donation onto the Super Chat. Well, Squealer, thank you so much. It means a lot. Thank you so much. Wipeout tips for aspiring surfer bros coming soon to Training Tall near you. That's so funny. The whole vlog stuff is really interesting to me, you guys, because with vlogs, I just don't think I'm that important. Like, I'm not an important person, or like, I don't know. I don't feel like what I have to share is necessarily like worthwhile. I don't live a very exciting life either. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't feel like I should be talking about surfing when I don't know it. Like, I try to stick to things, I try to really stick to talking about things that I really know about or I'm really passionate about. So who knows, maybe Surfing Tall will come around at some point. But Squealer, thanks so much for your donation. It really means a lot. Thank you for your support. So much. Let's see here. J. King Jess says, do you shave your armpits? I love it when you sweat. Makes me want to. That's a very strange comment. But I don't shave my armpits. I just don't have a lot of body hair. Like, I've just always been, you can see it on my face too. Like, I mean, I trim this down, but I really only grow facial hair here and here. I mean, who doesn't grow a big old batch of pubes? But as far as like other body hair goes, like, yeah, I don't have a lot of armpit hair. Very minimal, like chest hair. I don't know. Like, it's just a genetics thing. Whatever. I mean, I'd rather be less hairy than like really hairy and like have like crazy back hair or shoulder hair, things like that. So, but no, I don't shave. Thank you though. Appreciate it. Let's see. We've got ME says, what do you edit on? Premiere? No, I don't actually. I actually edit on a Mac. So I do my whole workflow through iMac, MacBooks, etc., and iPhone, just because they all three connect so well. It's super easy for me to like quickly record something on my phone, instantly drop it off to my Mac, like just through AirDrop, and to get it right into my editing software. So I use Final Cut Pro X, which is an amazing, amazing piece of software, to be honest. Like, it is, there's so much you can do, but it's so easy to pick up. It's a lot less overwhelming than kind of the Adobe Premiere like hub of like all the different stuff that goes on. Plus, you just buy Final Cut and you have it. You don't have to pay a subscription like you would do with Adobe. So yeah, and like the thing is with Macs, like, they're not great computers for doing things like games or live streaming or anything like that. But as far as like being a creative, like a good place for creative workflow, whether it's music, art, videos, it's the place to be. It's so great. Like, I don't mind paying for an iMac, even though it's a grossly overpriced computer, for that luxury, especially because I spend so much time with editing and things like that. So thanks for the question. I hope all that makes sense. I actually really like talking about editing and things like that, because I've done so much of it. I don't necessarily enjoy it as much as I like filming, but I like to talk about it. I like to talk about editing with people. So let's see here. We've also got a few more questions. George says, if you could arrange a rower's cruise with your followers, where would you take us? That's interesting, George. Are you talking about us all getting in a boat and rowing somewhere, or like going to go chill on a boat and just talk and hang out with rowing machines on the boat or something? I have no idea. I am not a big travel guy. I haven't been a lot of places, so I don't know. It's a funny question, though. Something to think about for sure. But thanks for the question, dude. Gwyneth says, Austin, what's your opinion on rhythm rowing, club row? I don't know. I don't know what that is. Not sure what rhythm rowing is, but if we're just talking more about like steady aerobic rowing, super good, super important. and should be a staple in any sort of workout program. So hope that helps. Thank you. Ben says, you are so uneducated on fitness. Okay, Ben. Again, man, like, you know, the fact that you're coming on and you're still watching and you like feel the need to type these things out, like I mentioned before, man, I hope whatever tough stuff is going on in your life, you figure it out. Best of luck to you, Ben. We're all here to support you, man. You got this. Deb says, serious congrats. Love my concept too. Oh, so that was in response to someone who got a concept too. Super cool. Devlin says, doing a 2K personal best in 2 weeks, counting down the days. Nice, that's great. Make sure you've got, you keep up with your workouts here for the next week and a half or so, and then it's time to start tapering down those last few days. Make sure you're not super sore going into it or anything like that. You want to feel good and ready to bring it. Get that nice high rate, get right to your goal pace, and make it happen. So yeah, it looks like we have another super chat coming in. Mad Hats with the $5 donation. Mad Hats, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Doing cardio 2 times a week with BLS. BLS. Why am I blanking on that? 4 times a week with weights. Best row workout just for some heart health and maybe a bit of calorie burn, just doing a 30-minute row. So with that amount of volume that you're doing, BLS, I think Black Label Society, the band, which is one of my favorite bands. That's what BLS means to me. If you don't mind clarifying though, Mad Hats. Just for some heart health, maybe a bit of a calorie burn. A steady 30-minute row is very good for heart health. Is very good for good for general calorie burn as well. As long as you're just bringing a nice moderate intensity. Remember, it's not about the duration or the effort behind your row. Or I'm sorry, it's not about the duration or the stroke rate that you're rowing at. It's about the effort behind your stroke rate. It's how it feels. It's where it brings your heart rate. If you wear a heart rate monitor, and you're trying to balance out all those workouts that you're doing. Strap on your heart rate monitor, get somewhere between 65 to 75% of your max heart rate and just cruise with that. That's what I would do if I were you. So yeah, best of luck to you, Matt Hats. Thanks for the donation, man. Really appreciate it. There's no reason why you can't work in some intervals here every once in a while as well. So looks like we got another super chat coming in. Wow, thank you guys so much. This is super sweet of you. Super kind. James says, for the $5 donation, says, I've been rowing steadily 150 kilometers a month. Nice, that's good. That's good volume. For 7 months, I've noticed pronounced development of my trapezius muscles. Is this normal for newbies? So, well, your traps, it's interesting because your traps are a big muscle that span from all the way from the top of your neck down out, but it also goes down like halfway down your back as well. And so when you're developing your traps with rowing, the traps that should be developing are more of those middle and lower trap muscles. The muscles up here, maybe not as much because we don't want to be shrugging up. Because when we shrug up, that creates activation in those upper traps and shoulders and takes the activation away from our lats, our latissimus dorsi, which is the back muscle that we should have activated when we were rowing. So if you're feeling like that middle back development, whoopsies, that is my alarm telling me I have to get ready for clients soon. You should be getting that middle and lower trap development for sure. But if you think you're shrugging up a little bit too much, work on pulling those shoulders down. You're going to get more lat development. That's that outer back muscle, and that's what we should be developing with rowing. So thanks a lot, James. Really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Chad dropping in another $5 donation. Thank you so much, Chad. It means a lot. I appreciate that. And saying, hey, Austin, huge thanks for all the videos. It's been a huge help getting me going, picking up rowing again. Have you been or are you on a crew team? If so, do you like 4s or 8s? Thanks a lot, Chad. Really appreciate it. I was on the UC Davis rowing squad from 2012 to 2016. Love, love, love the 4. The 4 is my favorite boat, mainly because we had so much success in our 4 boat, my junior year especially. There's just something about the 4 where it's just enough guys where you can really all get in sync together. And yeah, I love the 4s. 8s are fun too. I just prefer a 4. They just feel fast and they can feel really efficient and awesome. 8, you have to have a lot more people on the same page. But Chad, appreciate your donation. Thanks a lot, man. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Holy smokes, Chunky, you $31 donation. Wow, thank you so much. That's I've never received something so so kind as that before. Thank you so much. It says, so you are vegan? If so, why? Yeah, so I am. So I've been vegan for, it's going to be 4 years here in March. And there's a variety of reasons why, but personally, I think, and as far as the evidence that I've seen, it's one of the best ways to help out our environment, one of the best ways, to reduce our harm and suffering to animals on a global scale, and as far as saving water and things like that, and as far as the true health benefits that it can have, as far as helping you manage your body weight and get in more nutrients than ever and increase the more variety of foods into your diet to really crowd out like a bunch of processed foods and things like that. There's really just a million reasons that I could go on about why I love it so much, and definitely something I encourage everyone to give a try. However, even just like taking out more processed foods and eating more plants, like that, even doing that a little bit makes such a huge difference, And if you have any more specific questions on this, hit me up on my DMs. Instagram's the best way to do it. And I'll send you a little video chat talking like in the exact same way. Also, we have 82 people watching, and I have to go. You guys. But Chunky, thank you again for the really, really kind donation. Super, super kind. And for all of those that are asking all the questions down below, I'm sorry, but I have to get going. I'm planning on doing streams like this every single Friday around 4 or 5 p.m., so please be on the lookout for those. I want to thank you guys so much for chatting with me, for being here. Thank you for all of your support with all the videos and just your kind comments, things like that. I'm going to head out for now. I'm going to leave the sale on my ebooks up until the end of tonight. So if you want to check those out, be sure to do so. But I'm going to head out. You guys have a great rest of your Friday. I'll see you live next Friday, as well as some videos popping up on YouTube this upcoming week and on Instagram, of course, too. So thank you guys. Have a good night. Thank you to those that donated through the super chat. You guys rock. All right. I'll catch you guys